Sure, it's Ann Americk, and business is Ann Americk.
Okay,
It's
great.
Ann Americk pastry, but
You have a beautiful cake next to you, and we'd like to know a little bit about the inspiration behind wedding cakes that you design for couples.
golly, I've been doing this for 40 years. So I would say it started out, the inspiration was just to do something beautiful. Always loved cakes and the idea of designing them, even as a little kid. And I started working with French pastry chefs, and there was that at that time in the early 80s, the look was an old-fashioned French wedding cake, which was marzipan covered or fondant covered, rolled fondant as opposed to poured fondant, and with sugar flowers. And I got into that aspect of it and never left it.
What would you say is your particular specialty in cake making?
I definitely would go with, say, the sugar flowers as far as the design of it, intricate etching and scroll work.
You mentioned before the trend in the 80s. What is the trend now?
Golly, the trend now is everything. It's everything. It's across the board. I think it's certainly personalizing the cake, and usually I see a lot of cut out pieces of fondant on the cake. I come at that by, I paint. So I take sugar and form it into a frame with gold leaf on the edge to simulate more of a museum type frame, and then I paint scenes, whatever. I've done the New York skyline. I'd say that personalizing the cake seems to be a big thing. Far out things, colors, heavy colors, hot colors, wild, different. It's tied in now to being, I think, having something different and unique. I think that's what we seek, and truthfully, is holding on to this, because I think we're losing it. I do. I don't think you see it as much, because I think there's so much more out there, and it isn't somebody from my generation selecting. It's someone a lot younger, and they're seeing less and less of realism in it. Like the flowers look real. You know, they look real. And it's a huge amount.
I thought they were real.
No, they're sugar.
That's amazing.
They're
thought
all
they were
sugar.
real.
And so that's really, it means somebody has to take a week to
Really amazing.
to make the flowers. And they're super, super breakable. They'll snap. There's nothing synthesized about the cake. And that's different.
It's the Monet of cake making.
Yes, exactly. It's from before. And it is dying.
How about your favorite cake that you've ever designed for a wedding couple?
Well, it was our wedding. It was my husband's. We've only been married 2 years. We're newlyweds.
Congratulations.
And I designed that cake, and my husband did the stand. I wanted to point that out. But that was the one that I loved the best. It was covered in roses and buds and leaves and that sort of thing. So
And all the roses were handmade?
everything was handmade.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank